Hey, 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 Facebook. How are you? I'm trying to make sure I have all my notes, y'all. This is crazy. I have notes everywhere. Like I don't have like particular one particular notebook. All my notes are always all over the place. It is crazy. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is I never really understood the whole concept of, education truly starts after school. That's what I named it, right? Um, but it's true. Like when you think about it, you go to school, public school, private school, whatever, they don't really prepare you for a whole lot, especially, when you want to be an entrepreneur. They don't prepare you for what's really out here. It's just like when I was in cosmetology school, you know, you learn the book stuff, right? And you learn just enough to pass the test because that's the only thing they want to do is to make sure you pass the test. Does that sound familiar? But the real education starts when you are out here behind the chair, right? That's when the real education starts. Okay. And I'm speaking in terms of, hey, Christopher, I'm speaking in terms of me being a hairstylist as opposed to just going to school. So you're in school, and like I said earlier, they teach you just enough to learn the basics to pass the test. You get out into the real world, your first real job, you're so like uber excited to be working. First of all, can y'all hear me? I hope so. Like, give me some hearts or thumbs up or something if you guys can hear what I'm saying. Am I good? Well, I heard that. Um, and so you're excited, you pass your test, and you get your first job. Now, of course, you're not going to go booth rental, when you first get out there because you don't have no clientele, right? So they really don't teach you how to build a clientele when you go to school, cosmetology school, because that's what I do. I have a salon. They don't teach you about taxes with your own. They don't teach you how to run your own. They don't teach you those things, okay? So you get out of school and you go work. And I think the first place I worked was, I want to say it was good. No, it wasn't Great Clips. Hair cuttery, right? Haircuts for $15. Well, they should have been. Yeah. When I first started, I thought I was just the it, right? And I get to this place and I'm working and I'm doing everything they taught me in school. But you guys know that when you get out into the real world, there's always a gray area. There's a gray area. There's an area that they don't cover when you're in school. And so I'm behind the chair. And so I've met so many challenges. I've been doing hair since I was like 13, legally since I was 19. So 20 years I've been doing hair. That's crazy, right? I can't believe I can say that. But anyway, you share met with just different situations that they really didn't talk to you about. You know, what happens when you sit in your chair and head of life? What happens when your client sits in your chair and they lie to you about what they put on their hair and the chemical on their hair that melts off and falls on the floor? They don't teach you what questions to truly ask. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of stuff just comes with experience. People sit in my chair now, I can tell, you have something on here a little bit more than what you're telling me. And I'm going to tell you how I know. Pop, pop, pop. Well, that comes from experience. But my education truly started after I finished cosmetology school and got behind the chair myself. That's when education started. So it's the same thing with, I think Jim Rohn says you can make a living with a formal education, but when you self-educate, you can make a fortune. That is what Jim Rohn said. And so the more I study and the more I read, the more I understand that whole concept, because my money blueprint is different. I think about things differently. I approach things differently. I don't get as upset about certain things, hey Tasha, as I used to Of course you're human, you're going to get upset, but there's certain things that don't trigger me the way they used to, as far as the way I look at people. Okay. There is an exclusive club I belong to. I think you guys have seen me talk about it, or if you haven't seen me talk about it, you've seen me post about it. It's called the Virtual Millionaire Club, right? And we are mentored by a millionaire mentor. His name is Myron Golden, and he has taught me a lot just about people and mindset. Hey, Tara. And mindset is huge, and there are a lot of people out here who are not willing to change their mindset. And when you're not willing to change the way you think, or if you're not willing to unlearn the garbage or madness that you've learned before, you are going to be left behind. And that's the sad thing. There's so many people out here who have good hearts, who think they know, because Mr. Golden always says the biggest obstacle to learning, or the biggest obstacle to learning is you think you already know. All right, okay, my YouTubers, I'm sorry, I should have disclaimer. This began as a Facebook Live. So if I'm engaging with the people who join me live, please just humor me a little bit, because I like to just say hello, okay? So like I said, you get left behind, and then you look up and you're in the same place you were 10, 15 years ago, and the people who you thought were, oh, you've changed, or you're not the same, they've moved on, right? And honestly, like, we're supposed to change. We're supposed to change. We're not supposed to be the same person at 40 we were at 21. That makes no sense. That's the whole 20 years you've wasted, because the whole purpose of life to me is to grow, right? We're supposed to grow. So I was reading his book, and his book is called From the Trash Man to the Cash Man. Y'all, let me tell you something. I finished this book in one day. I think it was less than 3 hours. I finished the book, read the whole thing front to back, and was completely blown away. Completely, right? Certain things start to click. Then you actually see yourself in some of those pages and some of those things. You see the person you used to be, right? And so then things start to click and make sense as to why you've not been able to move past a certain point. So I'm just going to share maybe one or two of the things that he talked about, y'all. I promise you, I got the right notebook. I did make sure I did that. The differences between the rich and poor, right? That's one of the biggest things that he talks about. He told us to make a list, okay? And one of the biggest things that stood out to me was people who were a little bit more affluent. So I don't have the book. I downloaded it on my Kindle. So what I will do is I'll snap a picture of what it looks like, Tasha. I'll put the picture and I'll put it in the comments. I'll do that. Hey, Stephanie. So one of the things he said rich people do is they educate themselves. Okay, so out in our storage closet, y'all, I have like 3 or 4 big old things of books, just books. And I don't have enough room in my house to put them. But when I move, I'm going to have a library. I promise you. Okay. So I'm building my library now. I just ordered Jack Canfield's book, Success Principles. I just ordered that. And then I have a plethora of audiobooks on Audible. I pay that $16 a month. I get that credit every month. I haven't paid for one book. Every book I have on my Audible is paid by the credits they give you every single month. And I promise you, I have a bunch. So a lot of times my car becomes my classroom. I don't know if can you guys see that? Let me put it over here. Okay. So that's just all of the books I have on Audible. And it's all just Tony Robbins and Rich Dad Poor Dad and The Secret. And, I have Mel Robbins' book, 5 Second Rule. That's one of the best ones I've heard, you guys. And a lot of these books I do plan on purchasing to build my library. I do plan on doing that. but I have 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That was awesome. But one of my favorite ones, oh my gosh, where is it? Do I have it in here? One of my favorite ones is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm reading The Assignment, The Dream, and the Destiny. Oh, okay, we got to talk about that one, Katasha, because that sounds amazing. So I'm a quick reader. I read pretty fast, right? Oh, I'm secrets too. That's another thing. We're learning a lot about marketing skills and different things, like not promotion, marketing, uncovering the value of what we have to offer so people will know what the value is and they don't mind purchasing from us. That's one of the biggest things that we're learning too. Okay, so what I was saying was rich people educate themselves. You always need to stay current. You need to read, okay? And if you don't like to read, you can listen. And the thing with the listening is you can listen and you can take notes and you can write things down. Because some people, I don't know, baby, some people are auditory learners, okay? Some people need to hear it. Some people need to see it. Hey, Reggie, how are you? Everybody learns differently. I like to do a little bit of both. Sometimes I like to hear it and go back and read it. Sometimes I like to read it and go back and hear it. It just all depends. And he said that poor people, they like to entertain themselves. And in his book, y'all, he talks about throwing your TV away until you're making $20,000 a month. Was it a month? Yeah, $20,000 a month. I think that's what he said. I was like, throw your TV away. But then when you think about it, like, I don't watch a whole lot of TV. And if I do watch TV, it's just background noise as I'm doing something else to further my business or to further grow or learn or educate myself, right? A lot of times we just focus on and we put a lot of emphasis on things that don't really matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I love football, yes, but I'm not going to kill myself to sit and watch the game because those dudes are making multi-millions. I'm sitting watching the game. I could be working on a post for tonight. I could be working on ideas that I have that's going to make me my million. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times we do things that don't matter. You leaving? You coming back? Okay. You okay? All right. Sorry, guys. Mommy. So, right. You just learn those things. Exactly. Reggie is a fellow VMC of a club member. Another thing he said, one that really, really, really hit me the hardest, I think, besides the education and entertainment, he said, hold on, let me make sure I got it right, y'all, because, hold on. Continue to educate themselves. They continue their education long after school. That's what rich people do. And poor people stop learning as soon as they graduate. They think, oh, I'm done. And they stay stuck. They stay stuck. And then they're miserable. And then they make everybody else around them miserable. And then when you start learning these techniques, you see people differently. You don't even look at them the same. You can see through the madness. And the sad thing is, before I joined this group and before I was able to learn and open my mind, I was one of those miserable ass people. Excuse my French. I was. I don't want to be that anymore. Right? So it's all about a personal choice. But one more thing he said was, rich people focus on the opportunity. Hey, Kimmy, how are you, girl? And poor people focus on the obstacle. And so I hear that, right? So part of educating yourself, like I said earlier, is changing your mindset. So when you focus on something, yes, okay, for instance, I'm going to take it here. Okay, I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and my family and I were in a car accident on November 9th, 2016. And my husband's been out of work since then. He's had to have 2 surgeries, and it's just been me, right? Now, I'm going to tell you how God works. I had gotten into a company, right, before TLC. It's called Unique, and I'm still a part of the makeup company, thinking, oh, it's just going to be a little something I can just, put some makeup in the salon, right? Just to sell a little something. I wasn't even thinking about the whole residual income. I wasn't even thinking about the whole, what do you call that, y'all? Multiple income stream. I wasn't even thinking about that, okay? And then I got into TLC. Same difference, okay? I was thinking, oh, I'll just put it in the salon. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to use it, and I'm getting results. I'm going to get the half off, but then I'm going to get inventory and keep it in the salon. Let me tell y'all something. If it were not for these two companies, even though they're not where I want them to be, I'm not making my $20,000 a week. I'm not making my $30,000 a week. But there were times when bills needed to be paid, and I would wake up and there would be money in my account because somebody purchased something off of my website. Y'all don't know how many times that has really, really saved me and my family. It saved the lights from being cut off. It allowed us to be able to eat. Okay? So I'm not just talking just to talk, like I'm telling you something that I know. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you what I know. Okay? So focusing on the obstacle. I could have just allowed myself to go straight down the pit of, to, oh, woe is me. All I see is darkness. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I have to eat hot dogs and hamburgers. I can't, or hot dogs and beans. I can't do anything. My husband doesn't have a job, blah, 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 blah. I didn't do that. I could have. But because I'm working on me and because I understand that it's okay, you understand? The opportunity is this. I found Myron Golden. I found the group of people I found here on Facebook that I would not exactly, Reggie, pit of despair, that I would not have found had I not been in this situation. Yes. But the thing is, Katasha, the thing is, Reg, the thing is, y'all, when I did these businesses, I had no idea. I wasn't thinking along the lines of, oh, I need multiple streams of income. Now that I'm studying and I'm reading Warren Buffett, I understand that I need at least 7, right? Okay. But they came in handy. God knew the Lord will put things, you think you're doing them for one reason, but he knows what you need them for. We cannot see the future, right? I tell my kids, life is like driving in a car on a dark road, and you can't even see past your headlights. And sometimes, praise God, you can't see, okay? Because if there were some things I could have seen before, there's no way in the world I would have made that choice. And I know I am not the only one. I cannot be the only one, okay? So, focusing on opportunity. The opportunity I choose to focus on is this. This accident, this situation had put fire under me, guys. I wouldn't be learning the things I'm learning. I wouldn't be as adamant about doing the things I'm doing. I wouldn't do, you understand what I'm saying? Like, certain situations that have happened, because I've had certain training, because I'm learning, because I'm listening, because I'm taking it all in, because I'm now a part of an exclusive group of people who have the same mindset and we bounce ideas off of each other, I'm able just to think differently. I don't even handle situations the same. But that's not saying I'm perfect, because there are times, sometimes it's easy to go back to the knee-jerk reaction, right? To what's comfortable. And what I have noticed just in dealing with people and seeing things differently, some people would prefer to be miserable and comfortable, right? Than to go to what they don't know and potentially be happy. It's almost like they fear happiness, Well, at least I'm comfortable here. I can be a jerk, or I can do this, or I can do that, or I can just go find a job and be okay. It's comfortable. I can just be comfortable. And not take that step past whatever fear or anxiety they have and make a change, right? Let me tell y'all something. Doing what I'm doing with Mr. Myron Golden, reading the books I'm reading. Yes, that's right, Katasha, fear the unknown. People, good night, baby. People would rather stay in misery than move forward. And that is not a good place to be. It really, really is not. And I realize now, just dealing with people on a completely different level, I don't even think the same. I don't get angry about certain things anymore, you know? So those are the kinds of things we're learning. And that's just like on the mental and spiritual level. That's not even the marketing stuff. Oh my, that's a whole nother video. Oh my God, Reggie, tell them. You have to tell them the marketing techniques we're learning. You guys who are in business, TLC Unique, whatever, whoever, you're following me, you're seeing this, whatever it is, the marketing techniques we're learning will blow your mind. The devil you know is better. Yep, the devil you know is better than the one you don't. And I'm tired of the one I know, so it's time to move on to the one I do not. You understand what I'm saying? And we all have to make that choice, and we all have to make that decision. But it is your choice, and it is your decision. Nobody can make it for you. So what I'm going to do is, at the end of this video, which should be in about 2 seconds, because I didn't mean to go this long, I will post the link to the Virtual Millionaire Club in the comments. And click, y'all, and just take a look and read. And let me tell you something else. He teaches us these principles. He teaches using biblical principles. So it's not, you know, a lot of time. Okay, that's a whole other thing. I'm another rant. I don't want to do that. But just because something is correct doesn't mean it's right. And we learned that too. That call was crazy. I don't know if you were on that call, Reg, or not, but just because something is correct doesn't mean it's right. And he teaches us what's right. And let me tell you something. Some of the stuff he says hit me in the pit of my stomach, because I'm like, well, that's not what I've learned my whole life. But when you go back and you research it for yourself, I know, stop it. When you go back and you research it for yourself, you see that it is right. What we've been taught was correct. Okay. So my biggest thing, yes, was it? Thank you, Tasha. Thank you so much. See there, Reggie. Now, you just, I don't know. I'm gonna put the link in the comments. You guys click around and read it, read about it, watch the video, and tell me what you think. Tell me what you think, because my mind is blown, and I refuse to go back to where I was before. And this is how I feel about it. And it may sound harsh, but it is the truth. If you are not motivating me, loving me, or in business with me, you are a distraction. And I'm moving forward, whether you choose to come with me or not. It means some people are going to be left behind. It's going to be sad, but I am determined to make my $30,000, $40,000 a week. I am not a month. Y'all heard me, a week. I am determined to do what needs to be done. And whomever, friends, family, whatever, if you're not standing beside me, moving with me, then you will be left slap behind. Okay? And I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just telling the truth, because it's time for a change. And I'm sad and I'm hurt sometimes that it took me this long. It took me this long to get it. But guess what? I'm getting it now. And the blessing is I have a 19-year-old and a 14-year-old I can impart this to now. Stuff wasn't taught to me when I was 19 and 14, but I can teach it to mine. I can give them a step up so they don't have to start at ground zero. Because our job as parents is to leave an inheritance for our children. That is huge. Mr. Myron said that is huge. We're not to lay treasures up for ourselves. We are to build an inheritance for our kids. God didn't mean for our kids to start on ground zero, and mine will not. I'll leave the link. You guys tell me what you think. All right. We'll talk to you later.